Yeah, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to go.
All right, we are live. Hey everyone, welcome to a Capes and Lunatics special. Basically, I don't know, what would we call this? One big commercial?
Sure, let's call it a commercial.
But lots of important news coming out of the Southgate Media Group, and we're involved in a lot of it. So yeah, everyone knows it's being filmed, so I can't keep my mouth shut. And with me is the
I'm
boss,
Rob Southgate.
the big cheese, the big don't cut the cheese, Rob Southgate, and
Chris Mao.
The I cut the cheese, Chris Mao.
Yeah, you know, someone's got to.
restaurateur.
Owner of the Blue Box Cafe, which we talk about all the time. I'm sure people on here know. Chris, you were on Capes and Lunatics, weren't you?
On the special with Jesse and that.
Yeah, the Jesse special, yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to do my impression of Chantal. Hold on a second.
My impression.
We all start doing it.
Yeah. The best was when disappeared, gone in the middle of it.
Right.
We're not live or anything.
Yeah, my favorite is.
That's too funny. So yeah, that was so you've been on here. So the audience should be familiar with resident geek Chris Mao.
Yeah, unfortunately they are, or could be. So
Martha just said, "Are you almost finished?" Nope. Just started. Well, we won't go very long. This will be a short episode. So this is a commercial, right?
I guess, yeah. So
Sure.
do you want to start with the marathon?
I do. I want to talk about a couple of different things. There's a bit of an electrical issue in our hall upstairs that's quite scary, Martha said. Hey, Chris, you want to talk about the marathon? I'll be right back.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do my Chantal impression. I'll be right back.
Disappear, I'll be right back.
That
So
darn
Southgate
guys.
Media Group and Blue Box Cafe are hosting a podcast marathon, which Phil, you're also going to be a part of. It's going to be Saturday, October 7th from 8 in the morning till 9 p.m. Central Time. We got people from all over the country coming in to do a live podcast marathon in the lobby, or actually in the dining room of the Blue Box Cafe. And we are also concurrently having a YouTube live marathon hosted by Capes and Lunatics and by Phil, yourself truly, which we are going. What are the hours for that?
I think we're going to go around the same hours you guys are doing there.
Okay, cool. So, similar times. So look for all of that. We're really excited. We've got a ton of people that have signed up. We're going to be full. We're probably going to be over full, which is good, which means I get to talk less, which probably means I'll talk more, but that's the way it works. But we're really excited. We're looking forward to it. And we are trying to raise some money, and we're doing it on Indiegogo, where we're trying to, do a little Kickstarter to raise some money to, do things like pay for some posters, pay for some artwork to get a poster made. And we're just trying to, I don't want to say help defray the cost. There is no charge for any of this. So we're, just trying to see if some people would like us and like to help. $1 or $2, any amount helps, to help pay for supplies. And like I said, posters and artwork and things like that. And we, hoping we'd love to see if somebody could help us. So that's what we got going on.
And wasn't Rob talking about a documentary perhaps about
there is a documentary. I don't know many details. I literally just found out about it. He told me a couple days ago that we were doing it. He said it was possibly in the works. But some friends of ours who do filmmaking, there's going to be a documentary about the process. It's a great couple that are big fans of Blue Box, big fans of Southgate Media. We've done some things with them in the past. I don't know if we can say who it is yet, Rob. So I'll let you talk about the documentary. But we covered the Indiegogo, we covered the podcast marathon, and that's where we're at. So if you want to take over.
Well, as far as the Indiegogo, did you tell like where we're at as of this minute? Because people can't be watching this live. So right now, as of this minute, we're at $290. We put on here that our goal is 1,000. Now that's a flexible goal. So what that means is if we don't hit the 1,000, we still get the money, so we can still use it to support this event. We've only got 39 hours left. So it's getting tight. And we've done fundraisers like this in the past. We've never been this far at this point, but that doesn't mean we can't hit it. And the thing is, if we don't hit it, if we hit 50%, that's great. If we hit 80%, that's fabulous. The key is that people share this, that they get excited about it. If you're watching this or listening to this, please, I'm not going to tell you don't buy a cup of coffee. I would never tell you that. What I'm telling you to do is say, you know what? Maybe today I buy that extra cup of coffee, but instead of putting that money, in a Starbucks, I throw $5 in here. Guess what? That's going to add up. If everybody that listens to Capes and Lunatics puts $5 in or puts $1 in, every one of you put $1 in, we're going to hit our goal. We're not asking for the moon. We're just asking for a little bit of support to help make this event awesome. The last two were fantastic. Phil, you were a part of the last one. You did the YouTube Live thing, and you're doing the YouTube Live thing again this year.
Yes.
And, it's one of those things. It's going to go on regardless. Okay. What this money is going to do is help us promote it. It's going to help. It's not getting anybody rich. I mean, let's face it. Right now we're at $290. It's not like, oh my gosh, we got $290. No, it's not going to change lives. What it's going to do is allow us to get posters. It's going to allow us to have an artist that we can pay to do a poster rather than some hack job by me.
That's saying a lot. A hack job. It's way worse than that. So.
Oh
no, you're good at those actually. Sorry,
I'm good at hack jobs. But no, seriously, we're just trying to make this event as cool as we can. Now here's the real thing going on, and I haven't been able to talk about this on any other show. We've been doing a lot of I've been doing a lot of interviews talking about this stuff, and we just came off of that big book promotion we did. We were trying to raise money for a book. We blew that one out of the water, right? I think that's why we're not blowing this one out of the water, because people are like, well, I gave $50. I'm tapped. Hey, I get that. I gave 75 to that one. I'm tapped, right? There are a lot of people that weren't able to give anything or didn't give anything. This is a chance to help us out. But here's what I didn't get to talk about. And Chris, you're going to know about this too, because we had a conversation about this today. Oh, wait. I didn't know if I wanted the documentary thing. I can't talk about who's doing it yet, just because I don't know the name of their company or anything. I don't want to promote it that way, but we are definitely having a documentary shot. The idea is it's going to be the kind of thing that we can actually shop to film festivals. Hopefully we can sell to like Amazon. I don't know if we're going to be in 4K. So that's why you can't sell to Netflix. But we might be. I don't know. I'm going to have a meeting with them next week about all of it. But what's cool is it actually kind of stems out of the book. So the book that we've talked about on this show, Pod Life, we got all these podcaster stories, and they went really deep, and it was, really cool. Phil, you gave a great one. Chris, you...
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Chris's is coming.
It's right here.
But it stemmed out of that idea where we said, you know what, let's take the event and we're going to shoot it like we've done other things in the past, only we're going to do it on some better cameras and get some good sound going. Then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I want it to be like the movie Woodstock. Where
tri-pix, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, where it's got the little yellow bird, because we're big fans. No, where it's got the where you have the music festival, and what they did was they showed, a few minutes of a band, right? Well, we've got like 20 different podcasts going on that day. Nobody wants to sit there and watch a 2-hour movie where it's like 30 minutes is one podcast. You might as well watch a live event, which we also will be streaming. But if you want to watch it as a movie where you get an idea of what's going on, we're going to shoot it like Woodstock, where it takes, like a greatest hit from each thing, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, of each different podcast. We're going to pull stuff off of the YouTube stuff if the quality is good enough. It may or may not be, but we may be able to use, instead of 3 minutes, we may be able to use, 30 seconds of this one, 30 seconds of this to show snippets. But then this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Because of Pod Life and because of this thing, getting people's stories, what we want to do is we want to add in the element of having like testimonials, like little interview snippets. The people who are shooting it have not only are filmmakers, they work in indie film, which is our jam, but They also do weddings. So they know how to get these testimonials from people where they walk up randomly. They get people to talk off the cuff about stuff. They're going to talk to people in the audience. They're going to talk to podcasters and try to get deep like the book does. That's why we were like, oh, this sounds really cool. I mean, imagine, I know people that are on this. One guy that comes to mind is somebody who I know from podcasting, and the story he's told me. Now, he didn't write in the book, so this isn't a spoiler, and I'm not telling who it is, but he did tell me a story that when he met me and I said, you should be doing this podcast, he said he was literally like 1 foot off the chair about to commit suicide. And he said he was in the worst, lowest point when he got a text from me that said, hey, man, here's the idea, and I'd love for you to do this. You'd be awesome. And he said he was like right there and went, wait, somebody believes in me. Like, to me, that was super impactful, but that's the kind of thing. They're going to be on the marathon. I would love it if they told that story, if they got that human. Imagine that in the documentary. So it's a really cool project that's not just like, hey, here's a bunch of funny things and Phil. No, I mean, sorry, Phil, I couldn't help it. But it's not just, hey, here's a bunch of funny things. It's like, these are real stories. These are impacting people. And the other thing is, not a lot of the marathon is our people. Yeah, we're in it. Yeah, Southgate Media Group's a presence. But we try to get people from all sorts of different shows. I wish the diversity was a little bit higher. Some of our shows that we were going to have that had more female and other things other than like what this show is right now, 3 white guys sitting around, have fallen through.
Hey, who you call white?
Right. I'm sorry, Chris is an octoroon. But you know, those have fallen through right now. It's just timing, but it still could change. We still have a month to go, and people are still getting added into the mix. We like to have it be a real diverse thing, right? Now I can give the other thought. I had a lot of coffee today, Chris. Your fault.
It is.
Can you tell? So here's what Chris and I were talking about.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, what?
Jeez.
Sorry. Rob asked me to do it. I had to.
Nerd.
I love it. I love it. You're not wearing the robe, though.
No, I did not get the bathrobe out, so I can't even turn this off. So
I did have a lot of coffee, though. Damn good coffee. Okay, so here's the thing that I have not been able to talk about on a single other show that I've only talked about with Chris, and this is where we're going to get a little bit. I guess we're getting out of the pitch. I threw the pitch out there. You guys know we need the money, we need the help, we need the support. Even if you can't put money in, share it. Who knows if you've got like a brother that's like, dude, I love podcasts. I'll throw them $50. Oh my gosh, that would make a huge difference, right? Somebody threw in $100 already. It was like, wow, that's nice. That's awesome. That really gave us a nice boost. And on the book, there were 2 that threw in $150 on the last 24 hours. It was like, what? That's awesome. Who knows? So spread the word. That is key to the whole thing. All right, pitch over. Here's the part that we didn't get to talk about. There is a podcast festival that is in Chicago the same weekend. And there was a thing on Facebook. It advertised the 2nd annual Chicago Podcast Festival, right? Which is great. You know what? I wish there were 10 of them going at the same weekend. I don't care. There's a million podcasts out there. We're all doing our thing. Let's promote podcasts because podcasting is awesome. And I love to listen to them. And I love the diversity of the whole thing, right? So what this article was doing, I don't know if you saw this, Phil, but Chris and I talked about this. It was promoting the celebrities that are going to be on it. It was promoting, the main article did not mention the podcasts that are on it other than one. What it mentioned is, what's his name? The ladies' man. Tim Meadows and Amy Poehler and somebody else are all going to be on it. And I'm like, this sounds like Chicago Comedy Festival. And in the article, the person that wrote it said, you know, I'm sure you know these names. They're, you know, Chicago celebrities that have gone on to do this stuff. yeah, you may not realize that, or you may think, I didn't know they had a podcast, and you'd be right, because they don't. And that really bothers me, because this is like this big Chicago podcast festival, yet its crux of promotion is that it's getting celebrities who are not podcasters that are going to be on as guests. So what are you really promoting here, right? Ours is about podcasting. It's about creativity. It's about indie. Corporate podcasting sucks. That's all I can say about it, man. Corporate podcast festivals suck. They make me crazy. Do I want to promote this stuff? Do I want podcasting promoted? Yeah, absolutely. But I would rather have a diverse group of shows that are everything from a live gaming thing to we've got one that's talking about women in TV. It's called TV Herstory. Women in TV, not like it's about the characters that women play, the role of the character of a woman in TV. It's a fantastic podcast. They're going to be on this. We have This Week in Geek and some of our geeky stuff going on there. We have game show stuff. We have some music that are people that support podcasts. They give their music to podcasts. Those are the people I want to see. I don't want to invite in celebrities and use their name only to promote this. That's where I'm having a problem with it. We are about indie podcasting. I don't want to call it Indie Podcast Festival, because the second you do, you go, yeah, but you guys are a network. Yeah, but come on, both of you guys know we treat this very much like indie film or like zines or indie music. Nobody's getting rich off this. And we're all just throwing, except Phil, we're just throwing passion into this. And I mean, personally, to me, that's just making me crazy. When I saw this article, I'm like, as much as I want to support it and say, like, awesome, what are you promoting? What are you really promoting there? We're promoting podcasts. We're promoting a love of podcasts. We're supporting that indie spirit and that passion. That's really what it's about. That's why we want people to support this. And we're not asking for a ton. We're asking enough that we can get some freaking posters made, So, Chris, you and I talked about this a little bit. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, no, I do. Absolutely. I think, it's the hard part is, and I think you and I have talked about this, and maybe Phil, we've all talked about this together, is the commercial viability of podcasting. And it's really, really hard. And, I think it kind of misrepresents, this is a thing of passion, and it's a thing that you may get lucky and be able to monetize it a little bit, but I don't think any of us are sitting there saying, hey, we're going to be making, a living wage off of doing what this is right now. And this, I believe that things like this, and I'm not trying to bring everybody under the bus, but other big podcast shows are setting like a false example, because there are some people that can do it, and that's awesome. But guess what? For every one person that's doing it, there's 20,000 that are recording this in the basement, like I am right now, on a cheap microphone, doing it because I'm passionate about it. And I think that's what we're trying to capture is, we've got guys who are teachers that do this on the side, that put a lot into it, that are being at the podcast. You're talking about that herstory. I mean, the stuff that we do, the stuff that, that other people do, a little do in League of Geeks. I mean, what he does to put his podcast out is incredible.
Yeah.
I would never do what he does, but when he stays up till 3 or 4 in the morning recording to get their podcast out, that's an amazing thing. Plus raising 3 kids, plus, working the job that he works and all the stuff he does. I think that's the stuff that we are trying to, I think, we all are trying to do it with this podcast marathon. We're trying to do it. And it's kind of what Southgate Media, what Blue Box, what Capes and Lunatics stands for, is that kind of passion about what we're talking about. And I think people believe in that in us, and that's what, we're hoping to spread, I think. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like last year we had a Kickstarter to get equipment. We wanted to raise the quality of the sound and everything. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And we did it, and we made a lot of improvements.
Right. But we didn't get like $10,000 microphones and a huge mixing board. We spent a couple $100 on stuff to make it better, to make it, I hate to say passable, but to make it a better quality. So
to make it, you know what? We've actually had people say when I've done like panels and that, say, "Oh God, your stuff sounds so good. Your quality is so good." Yeah, but you could do it for. I mean, I just did a panel at Gen Con about equipment with Matt Quiet. And that comment did come up, is how much they liked how the stuff sounded. And I was like, here's exactly what you buy, and here's what you need. So you can go spend $1,500 on a package, or you can buy these 3 things for about $200 and have a killer sounding setup. And you can make it, 1% better by spending $900 or 4% better by spending $2,000. But guess what? That's only 4% better than the way my stuff sounds. And that's really what this is all about. Like we were able to up the quality. Now we just need to be able to promote it. We just need people to know about it. And don't make it, we're not making it sound like we're sitting in an empty room. We did a live at the Blue Box tonight. The Blue Box is amazing. Anyone that's into podcasting, if you get out to Elgin, if you're in Chicago, drive the 40 minutes west, go to Elgin, go see Chris, go to the Blue Box, buy some food and support the guy. He has been the biggest supporter of podcasting. We've been doing it there for 3 years. Live shows. He's on all these things, as you can tell. But it's awesome, right? That is a very indie thing. We do it free. We never charge for these things. Yeah, we ask for a suggested donation because we want to try to get something so we can afford some of this stuff. But it's a suggested donation. This is a passion, right? That festival that I'm tweaked about, they're charging anywhere from, what was it, $10 to $40 a ticket. $40 a ticket?
Right.
That's,
exactly. You're paying for the comedy show, and that's that aspect. That's not paying for the podcasting, although it does pay a little bit to some of the people.
Yeah, but I'll bet you those podcasts, the few that are on there, like take the guys at Cinema Jaw. I think they're on it. They're great guys. They have a great show. I didn't see their name on any of the stuff. That's why I'm like, I don't know if they're there. There's no way they're getting a chunk of that money like Tim Meadows is.
Well, sure.
And if we invite a celebrity out, they don't get paid, just like we don't get paid. They come because they dig the environment. They dig what we're doing. And we get people out there. We fill the place, So that's really what this is about. It's like, support this indie thing, support this movement. It's our 3rd annual. I didn't want to do it again because it's so taxing and tiring and hard on us.
It's hard, yeah.
But then we realized, you know what? It's still at the same time like the greatest thing we do all year. People love it. We have a great time. I mean, last year I was standing there a wreck. I was done, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the podcasters, Troy, comes up. Troy, who just won from Podcast Movement, he and Aaron just won best TV-related podcast for the Blacklist Exposed. They were on it last year. They came up and he was like, dude, this is the best podcasting thing ever. He's like, you got to take this on tour. You got to do this. I'm like, he goes, you should start charging people. I'm like, yeah, but that kind of ruins what this is.
Sure.
But we need support in order to pull it off.
Well, are you looking for any advertisers either for the marathon?
We are. We would love it if we got advertisers. In fact, this week we're going to send out trying to find sponsors. So whether you're somebody who can do it or whether you know somebody, I mean, we're asking for that too. We do some of these in kind. We would love to have it. One person suggested to us, because we did one where we had baskets and stuff and we were trying to raise money for a charity. And they said, you know what? Why don't you guys do it for yourselves this year? Get some advertisers that give you some stuff in kind, stuff that relates to what we do, toys and books and movies and stuff. Make some gift baskets and raffle them off. I think we're going to do that because, we promote the advertiser that way. So if you're an advertiser and you're like, hey man, I have a toy company. How about if I give you, $50 in toys that you can raffle off? Great. And you know what we'll do? We'll tweet out the name of the company, thanking you. We'll put it on the website. We'll talk about it from the stage that day. I mean, we give back. Our whole thing is promoting other people. So yeah, advertisers and that, absolutely, man.
I mean, if we want to do it, we're going to have 2 marathons going at the same time. I mean, you get your name mentioned 2 places.
What'd you say? I didn't hear that one.
I was saying we have 2 marathons going that day. We can, we do. Get your name mentioned 2 different spots.
Or you could say, you know what, we want to, like, we're into Capes and Lunatics. Maybe we're a comic publisher. Some small publisher like Tango says, you know what, we want to support this. This is a show about comics and that. How about if we do we kick you guys $25 to get mentioned on your show as a sponsor? Absolutely. Let's do that. Or they say, you know what, we want to send you some comics that you can give away free. All right, let's work it out. Giveaways, raffle items. Absolutely. We're into that. So please, I don't want it to sound like we're begging. I'm a little fired up because we just came off of an awesome event at Blue Box. We did a night all about anime. It was full in there. We had a great time. And I'm like, as good as that was, the marathon is that times 1,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah, when I come home and there's, the Indiegogo's kind of sitting there, I'm like, oh, people just don't know.
But I mean, if you're an advertiser, I mean, one, you guys are gonna be at, mentioning their product to a full house, and then we'll be beam into the rest of the world online. So
yeah, really. Well, and if we get enough shows, we might expand to 2 channels for that. Right now we've got the one, we'll be on Capes and Lunatics. We'll also have the live one from the Blue Box streaming on YouTube Live and on our Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook Live, it'll be on there too, just like we do that every time we do a show. So yeah, the anime one, I was watching it when I came home. It was so good. It was so fun to watch it on there.
Bring lots of cords and lots of
yeah, right. Lots of batteries. No kidding. So yeah, man, it's October 7th is the marathon. It's from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. At least those are the hours right now. We do have a couple people that are talking about joining up. We might end up extending a little bit. I don't know how we're going to do it. Possibilities, but it's at least 8 to 9 on October 7th. And follow me at SMG Pods or at R Southgate on Twitter. That's where you're going to get updates. You can look on our website. We actually have a page for, now I'm going to have to look up what the extension is, for the podcast marathon. I built a page and then I didn't make a thing for it. Let's see if I can find it. SMG podcast. Maybe it's just under podcast marathon. Chris, why don't you give your social media too?
Who, me? Yeah. I can be found at www.theblueboxcafe.com or at Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media.
And we'll be pushing out from all places as this lineup gets confirmed. Now that as soon as this Indiegogo is over with, we can then start really pushing out there what's happening here. Like, we have not really made it public that we're having a documentary made. We have not made public anything about the possibility of there's one band for the Blue Box. There's actually 2 or 3 more bands that might do small sets on the YouTube channel. We just haven't talked about who's on the marathon other than in these interviews. We might, drop one here, drop one there about it. So follow us on social media, follow us on Facebook, follow Southgate Media Group, follow me, follow the Blue Box Cafe, follow Capes and Lunatics. We'll be putting it out through those sources as everything goes on. We'll try to retweet each other, keeping that alive. But definitely follow. And once again, I mean, we would love to get supported. I understand if you're like, it's just too tight, but if it's just too tight, support us another way, spread the word. Sure. Think about that person that might be into this. Like, I know my parents, they're a great example. If I were to tell them, I mean, aside from being mine, if I were to tell them like, hey, you know what? I'm really into this band. Actually, I know of a band that I helped kickstart one of their albums. I was really into, what they were doing. And I told my parents, I said, you know what? They're really cool people. This is what they're doing. They have a Kickstarter going. Would you want to do something? They threw in $20. And to them, it was like, okay, I'll throw in $20. To me, it was like, holy crap, $20 is awesome. And to that band, it was awesome. But it was because I went that extra effort and I let them know. I just said, hey, here's somebody that I know might be into it. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter. Anything you can do to help push it out there would really help us. The website is southgatemediagroup.com/SMG. You know what? I'm going to change it right now. I'm going to change it to SMG Podcast Marathon. So just /SMG Podcast Marathon will get you there. Don't do it as I'm talking, because I swear to you, you're not listening if you are. Because I have to update it. I'm going to change it right now while we talk.
And not even, and again, if you can't donate, and again, like we Rob had discussed, we completely understand times are tight for everybody, but just share the podcast marathon. If somebody would be interested in wanting to see it, or are interested in podcasting and want to see kind of what it's like, and to kind of see the live version of it, because it can be intimidating. I know when I started, and I'm going to talk about it in my chapter, I was very intimidated as outgoing and gregarious of a person as I am. I was kind of like, oh my gosh, this is impossible. Well, guess what?
Were you really?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, and you know what, as confident as I was, and like, oh yeah, I got this, I was a little bit nervous about it. And then you do it a couple times, you're like, it's not really that big of a deal. I don't know how you felt about it, Phil, but I mean, I see the stuff that you've done, and you've taken all of these things and kind of combined them into a, like a mini network, and it's fantastic, dude. I'm not, I don't want to say jealous isn't the right word. I'm envious that you're able to do that. And I don't see how I could do it, but it's also fantastic because, I don't say Rob and I have talked about it. That's not the way it is, but I mentioned to him the other day, I'm like, Phil is taking this and running with it. And that's awesome, because you know what? You're not going to do it unless you do it yourself. If you're waiting for somebody else to do it, it isn't going to happen, but you can get out there and podcast. It's a simple thing. And, hopefully by having this marathon, not only do you get some good entertainment, but if you want to do it, you can do it and we can help. Rob is a fount of information. You or I, Phil, could get somebody in the right direction, at least to get started. Because it literally is as simple as putting a microphone in front of your face and saying something. If you're passionate about it, people are going to listen. And then the rest is just marketing and just getting better at it, just like anything. When you start cooking, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say that, you had a good point. I mean, if you ever thought about trying this, get a hold of me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. I mean, we'll slap you on that marathon and be like, hey, here's a new guy. Anybody want to?
I think it's awesome. It is. It can be intimidating. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, actually, that happened last year. Luke, who had been on Radio Ramen, he wasn't doing any shows or anything. We actually saw him at church, and we were talking about all this, and he said, well, I've got an idea for a show. And he said, I don't know, can I get on the marathon? We threw him on the YouTube live marathon. He called it, I think it was called Luke Out Loud. He only did the one episode, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And to him, it was like, it lit him up. He was so excited to do it. He was really happy with the result. He's a young guy. So it was like, he was just like, yeah, I can't do this all the time, but I'm hoping he wants to come back and do it again this year because it was so fun. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, let us know.
Yeah, because it's more than just, I think this is more than what, we're doing this marathon. Yeah, we're trying to raise some money, but, the bottom line is we also help people, and we help people a lot. All three of us, I know for a fact that we get inquiries all the time. I get Blue Box. Hey, is that podcaster guy around? Not that it will evolve into anything, but you never know. Once out of every 15 or 20 people, you may hit something. And I know, like tonight, we had people that were really excited about stuff, that have a lot of knowledge and a lot of passion. And I don't want to say we can harness that, but they can harness that and talk about it. And I think that's really neat. And we get that, once a month, maybe? I mean, when we were doing 4 shows a month, maybe once every month or two. I mean, now we're getting it a little bit less, but it's still cool. And it's a really neat thing that we're able to help people like that. And I think, that's all part of our indie podcasting kind of thing that we do.
Yeah, that's all part of how we roll with all of this, for sure. For sure. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, we do want to support people. We do want to encourage them with all of this. So if it's something that you're like, you know what, I really do want to kind of get into this. I think it's really cool. This is a great entry point, contact us or just watch it and see what's up and then talk to us. I know that we've actually had people that have done really well, that's how they started. I can think of one guy that heard me interviewed on a podcast. He contacted me. He's like, I've always dreamed of doing this. And now, boom, he's doing incredible stuff. Jamie, who does Radio Free Endor, our big Star Wars podcast, he was a fan of the show when the host was leaving. the host said, "Hey, this is a fan that reached out to me. He might be interested," and now he's the main host.
Right.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened on Biters too, right?
Yeah, Diane was a big fan, and she and Brian connected, and we put them on Biters, and now Diane's sister Marnell is on there with them, and they do a couple other shows. And Diane and Marnell actually wrote their chapter for the book together. To me, it's awesome. Our dream is to launch 1,000 ships. You know what I mean? And that is how you do it. You share, you get people excited, you get them into it. And once again, it all goes back to that like indie spirit, which that's where all the passion is for us.
Hey
okay. So I put on the main page while we were talking, I put a thing, 2017 SMG Podcast Marathon. Click here for the marathon. You click on that. It takes you to the main page that has some information about it. And it does have a link on the right-hand side to the Indiegogo. So there you go. How's that? Did I lose you guys? Phil?
No, I'm
here. We're here.
I thought Phil fell asleep a little bit, but that's it. Yeah, I am. It's later for you too, right? Isn't it like almost 11?
Yep.
Yeah. So have we got anything else? I'm sure we're all pretty tired at this point. Just please, if you can support us, please do. I mean, time is running out. We're now 38 hours away from being done. Indiegogo, look up Podcast Marathon, SMG Podcast Marathon, or click any of the links that we've talked about.
But no, I mean, we threw out about people, wanting to get into podcasting. If you've thought about it, contact me, and maybe we'll do like an hour on the marathon of the new talent showcase or something.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
You're bringing in someone for talent, Phil? Sorry. I wasn't here to pick on. I had to say something.
Oh, wow. And I almost had a Lil on, but he's got to record. He had to watch a horror movie and immediately finish. It was for League of Geeks. He's got to finish and jump on League of Geeks. It's like, wow. How am I going to do this? Like, don't worry about it, man. So we almost had hot butter on this one, too. So there we go. That's it for me. I'll give my stuff one more time. Follow me at R Southgate. Follow the company at SMG Pods. You can find there is a Facebook page for Southgate Media Group. There's also a Facebook page for the marathon. I'm going to get you the exact name on it here. If you go to, there it is, SMG Podcast Marathon. There it is. You can also get updates there, which right now all it is updates about the Indiegogo, but from Tuesday on, it's going to be lineup. It's going to be snippets. I've got videos. I've got audio clips from past years. It's just all this fun, exciting stuff that's going to go on there. So there's that. We do have a, I do a lot from my Instagram, and I'll be Instagramming from that day. That's Rob Southgate on Instagram. Chris, you have it for Blue Box Cafe also, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So we'll have stuff going there. Yeah, and then Phil's going to be running Capes and Lunatics YouTube channel, so it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be people from all over. We're going to have all our shows. Who's joining us? Jesse Jackson, Kevin, everyone.
Yep.
Wait, Kevin's joining you?
Yeah. There he goes.
Sorry.
All right.
I shouldn't be giving him crap, but it was funny.
Also, if you want to hear more about this, I guested on Go Fund This last week from Nerds Domain. You can find them on iTunes. And I've got a link on that Facebook page. But Matt was kind enough to add me on, and we did talk about, some of the logistics of the Indiegogo on there. I revealed some other stuff there. So, I mean, if you want to hear more about it, check out Go Fund This.
But I'll just say, I know it seems like we're asking a lot for money, but I mean, fund the podcast, if you can, fund the marathon, especially if you're an advertiser. I mean,
yeah, and if you're an advertiser, we have advertising solutions. I mean, just contact us. We're open to talking. I mean, and if you want to do in-kind stuff, one person gave us a great idea. I'm sorry to interrupt again, Phil, but one person gave us a great idea for the in-kind thing. They said, what, if you're like a little game publisher and you want to give, a few games for a giveaway or whatever, do an in-kind donation, like $25, and send us a couple games. You know what? It's not costing you a lot. It's not hurting your bottom line. It's a way to help fund this and support it. And it's a way to put your name out there big time. And we're so thankful Believe me, we'll fall all over ourselves doing it. Listen to this podcast. Who did we name? Like everybody under the sun in this one. That's what we do. All right. I'm done spewing.
I was just going to say, support all this. I mean, I don't want to embarrass them too much, but I mean, Rob and Martha basically changed how many lives with this network?
4. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't say for the better. I just said you've changed many lives.
Exactly.
Right.
Well put, Phil, because...
Yeah. But you know what? We care a lot.
You've gone down, buddy. That's all right.
Yeah. We do care a lot, and we are passionate about it. So, yeah, anything you can do. I mean, we're gung-ho with it. Oh, another one you could do is if you've got a Kickstarter, Chris and I run a thing called Geeking Out. If you have a Kickstarter coming up and you want to promote that, we can do that as an advertising tier too. $25 in the pot and say, hey, I've got a Kickstarter. We will take Geeking Out. We will push it on there because we do a thing, Kickstarters we like. We'll put it on there. Yes. Tell you what, I'll hook you up with GoFundMe. They'll have you on. Like there's things I can do for you to help promote whatever. That might be a cheap way to push your Kickstarter out there. So think about it. That would be a great tier. $25. You get you get to promote your Kickstarter in a big way.
Hell, for $5, we'll wish happy birthday to your grandmother.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
You can get a used coffee cup from Rob Southgate. I've got plenty of them.
Oh, you got plenty of those.
As long as it's a coffee cup.
Yes.
All right. I think I'm done. I got to go to bed.
I think we're done too, so thanks.
Yeah. Phil, thank you so much for having Chris and I on. We were going to be mean to you tonight, but we decided to hawk our business a little bit. So
I'm glad capitalism spared me.
It won out. Yeah, but next time, oh my gosh, you're going to get a geek pile on.
Just you better make sure Lil's here. That's all, so you can pawn it off on him.
Right. All right, now I'm the guy with a cat photobombing us.
Well, my cat came up earlier, so it was awesome.
All right, Chris, thank you. Phil,
thanks, guys.
Thank you, Phil. I leave it to you now.
All right. I don't know. Support the marathon, the Blue Box Marathon. Support the online marathon. Capes and Lunatics has a couple giveaways right now, mostly comics, but check our social media for that. Facebook, Twitter, we're at Capes Lunatics. 2 of them have to do with big interviews we have next week. Kelly Thompson and David F. Walker, both Marvel writers right now. So, like I said, check our social media.
Yeah, and we actually had a couple of interviews drop today, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah,
big ones. 2. Hope Larson, that's an awesome one.
New York Times best-selling cartoonist Hope Larson.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a big fan. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Thank you. You got music to play us out, Phil?
Oh yes, I do. Dance.
I'm not dancing. I'm creating artwork for the next thing.
Oh, here's my question. For the documentary, are they going to do anything with the online marathon or just for YouTube?
We're going to try. It depends on the quality that we've got.
Okay.
I'm planning on it.
I'll do an interview. I don't care.
I'm planning on it, Phil.
All right. 20 seconds. Any final thoughts?
Longest outro ever. Where's the credits rolling?
No, that's it. Please support the Indiegogo. Peace out.